Okay, we're back for another episode of our favorite topic, cybersecurity, with Harsha, CEO of K-Tech Labs. Hi, Harsha.
Hi Satish, how are you?
Really good, really excited. Today is a special four-part series that kicks off with part one today. Every time we post one of these videos, people that have been watching have been sending us questions and other topic ideas. And so this four-part conversation around cybersecurity and also what is smart cyber strategies that people should be thinking about in real estate came together from everybody asking questions. So please comment below or send us any type of DMs on topics that are important to you. And we're happy to talk about it on our upcoming shows. So this is a four-part series. We'll walk you through what does cyber smart strategies mean in cybersecurity, specifically when it comes to real estate. So it's a mouthful. So Hersha, let's start talking about like what does cyber smart mean in the context of what we're about to share.
Yes. So, cyber smart strategies for real estate. Well, we talk a lot about strategies when it comes to IT. What mail servers, what kind of systems should we have in our corporate, what kind of software, and then antivirus, firewall. We talk a lot about that. And we have strategies around password, employees onboarding, ensuring security, and a number of other strategies that make sure the IT systems are protected.
Right.
But as we are moving towards smart buildings, we have lots and lots of devices, our OT systems getting connected to internet. But this is one of the area that is often overlooked. Now we see a rise in cyber attack on smart buildings.
Right.
Is the right time we take this issue, how we can build a cyber smart strategies around smart buildings where we consider the systems that run our buildings, the operational environment, and the people in the building.
So this could be just a dumb question, but are all buildings smart now, or there's still a lot of buildings that are not smart that are protected from hackers? What does the balance look like in that ecosystem?
So when it comes to smart building, every person has their own definition of smart building. Like for me, a smart building is a self-sustained building having smart systems, devices, and sensors that helps you achieve operational excellence.
Right.
So we have a mix of these buildings where in some of the buildings we have sensors, we have platforms that take data from systems like HVAC and lighting engine with insights, predictive maintenance. But there are other buildings that run typical systems like HVAC elevators and are not even having the basic sensors.
Right.
But saying this that those buildings are not prone to attack is wrong, because even a small computer that's there in the building is prone to compromise, not only from external threat but from internal threat. So consider this: if there's a HVAC system that is there in the building but it's not connected to internet, even then a vendor can come in and plug an infected USB to the system.
Right. So
And
then,
the system
yeah,
gets in.
the idea that smart versus not smart is really negligible. 'Cause as long as you have
Yes.
anything that is connected to the internet or even internal intranet, you have a potential for attack. So the four
Yes.
parts that we're going to discuss, guys, is broken down into, how do you look at your inventory today from a cyber attack, cybersecurity perspective? What's your traffic like in the building that impacts the sensors and equipment that you put into place? What are some of the areas of vulnerability that you might not be paying attention to? And then finally, every client that we meet have already a group of suppliers and partners and vendors. So is there a strategy that you should be putting in place to manage that ecosystem? And so that's the four part that we're going to discuss. And then for each one of these, we're going to break it down into what are the benefits from, thinking through this. What are some of the benefits to you, to the landlord, to the tenant, and then ultimately, how do we put all this into an action plan? So today we're going to start with inventory, right? So walk us through on, what is the importance of keeping this inventory strategy happening? How do they get the benefit from assessment? And then let's sort of give them the nuggets to start thinking about their strategy.
So to build a secure and a resilient OT environment in a building, the first step is to understand what's there in a building. A threat and a risk assessment helps you understand what kind of devices and software and network you have in a building. So typically these assessments, they capture the details like what are the devices, what software is running on these devices, what's the make, are you following simple practices like password hygiene, changing default manufacturer password, even simple things like do you have this list as who has access to what in your building. So these assessments helps you capture all these details. And once you have these details, it is very easy to understand what kind of risk the building is prone to. So to start with developing a cybersecurity strategy, start with building your asset inventory. Go for a vendor who can help you build the asset inventory. This will help you uncover any undocumented devices because we have seen this in past also. When you move from one vendor to another vendor, typically the old vendor, they leave their devices in the building. And many times we have seen that the devices are still connected with the network, though they are not being used, but still connected, posing a lot of threat.
Right.
So these simple things get uncovered when you go for a cyber risk assessment. Plus, you might not be aware of some of the hidden things like there might be a connection between your IT or a OT network, or there's a vendor who is accessing your network or your devices and you're not aware of this. So asset inventory, this risk assessment uncover all these risks and you'll get a clear sense and a full range of assets that are connected to your building network.
Now, is it possible that the buildings can do them themselves? Because sometimes we talk to clients and they're like, "Yeah, I've got an extra person on the team. Can I just get a spreadsheet?" And then they go fill it out. But you and I know the attention for detail is what's missing, and not necessarily the lack of resource.
Yes. So when you say, can buildings do this by themselves? The answer is yes, but at the same time, no. Because, operations manager, they know how to run the building, the overall operation. It's the vendors who come and manage the devices. So doing the assessment by themselves mean they have to reach out to each and every vendor, get their time, and then capture all these details. But still, there's a chance that they miss this point, like we discussed. If the old vendor left all the devices in the building, you'll miss capturing the details of this hidden risk.
Right. Right. Right.
And then if a vendor is doing a remote access and you're not aware of this, you might miss the risk. So look for a consultant, an independent consultant who can come, walk through the building systems, go over each and every system of all the vendors, capture the details, and then run their own process to come up with the asset inventory and details of the risk.
Right. Now, as we move into, what the benefit of the strategy, the one thing you've already mentioned is it might give you visibility into things that you might not have known, like, assets that are left behind. What other benefits are there from this exercise?
So this will help you to get support from C-level executives. We know we get the support of C-level executives when it comes to IT security, but still not many are paying attention to the OT security.
Mm.
So by these asset inventory and capturing the network traffic and leverage your findings, vulnerabilities, you'll have the list of complete risk and vulnerabilities.
Right.
And then using this, you can build your strategy and get support from C-level executives It will be very easy for you to communicate the risk to all the stakeholder and the staff and the vendors.
Yeah, because one of the things we always hear is, I don't have the budget to focus on
Yes.
cybersecurity because everybody's so focused on staffing up for IT security. But here's a chance to go into, hey, we've done an assessment. Here's some of the vulnerabilities, areas for improvement. Um, Here's why I need the budget, whether it's third party funding, whether it's internal growth. You can justify the case to beef up the resources to stay protected, right?
Yes, and even a simple thing like employees training,
Right. And so
because you train your employees how to run the system, but now it's really important for you to train your employees in cybersecurity best practices.
exactly. And so I think, the overall benefit rolls into the top line, which is keeping your tenants safe, the community around your building safe, and so that, at the end of the day, your building is a value add versus a point of bad PR.
Yes.
So this is part one. Please comment below if we can continue to add value with other questions that you guys have. Part two, we're going to talk about traffic, which comes up next week, on how to understand your traffic. If you're a small building, big building, you're a giant building with millions of people coming in every single day, how does traffic impact cyber threat and cybersecurity? We got a webinar coming up. Should we talk about
Yes, we have a webinar on June 25th. And in the webinar, I've shared the link on LinkedIn post. So in this webinar, we're going to talk about how we can ensure health and safety of occupants, and at the same time look into the cybersecurity practices, because you know how hackers are, they distract you and then they hack at the other point. So
100%?
how to balance out employee health and safety and cybersecurity.
And this is especially important as buildings start to reopen after COVID. Uh,
Yes.
and we have two amazing guests.
Yes, we have Roberta, who is a consultant, and Peter Morris from Brainbox.
Really excited for that. So, guys, please, if you want to attend, it's a free webinar. Lots and lots of knowledge will be transferred over that 12 or for that 1 hour. So go ahead, click on the link in the description and join us. And we'll be back next week with another series focused on part two of this conversation, all about traffic and how to understand your traffic, and make sure your buildings are protected. Harsha, always a pleasure to see you digitally, hopefully live soon.
Yes. Thank you, Satish.